and to overcoming your fears. Favorite films, Melly Ludi, Brave People. Yes, Brave People. And the topic of your speech is?
From mentee to winner.
Okay, welcome.
When Odyssey left for Troy, he asked his best friend, mentor, to take care of his little son, to educate him and to guide him through all the difficulties. Would you please help my son to go throughout any difficulties he might face during his lifetime? He said. And mentor would always accompany and educate that little son by constantly turning into different creatures. Dear Toastmasters and guests, actually few people know that mentor is a word which came from the classic word of Gomer called Odyssey. Mentor was a Greek goddess and it's a real creature, it's called like that. And nowadays we use this word mentor in order to describe a person who is guiding you and supporting you on a long-term basis. So, several years ago, I decided that I want to reach a higher level of my public speaking skills. And for that, I needed a competition. And thanks to our Toastmasters community, we organize different speech competitions twice a year. So, how does it work? Firstly, you have to pass through the qualification round in your club. So for that, you must be a member of this club. And then if you win the club contest, you're able to compete against very advanced speakers of the other Russian clubs. But how to choose the theme for a winning contest speech? Or, for example, how to structure a winning speech? Or which elements should we include in a winning speech? When I asked myself these questions, I actually didn't have answers, and I understood that I definitely needed help. Being a Toastmaster opens for you a door to get acquainted with many outstanding people, and actually not only in Russia, but all over the world. It means that you can ask for help a person who is an advanced speaker, an advanced leader, a wonderful Toastmaster, and as a mentor, he will be working with you on a constant basis during some period of time. And this person will support you, will guide you, and will enrich you to reach your goals, empower you to reach your goals. So I found my mentor in another country. He was a foreign Toastmaster, a very advanced Toastmaster. If you're interested how, just approach me afterwards. But once I communicated with him, so I called him, he said, okay, let's start working. In that moment, I had only an idea of my possible speech because I really didn't know how to prepare a contest speech. So my main idea was something like, music influences your productivity. But how to continue working on this idea? I didn't know. A mentorship relationship requires and demands presence and commitment, though this presence might be online, as in our case. So it means that constantly you're communicating with your mentor using Skype calls, WhatsApp, whatever, but your mentor is talking with you, is asking your questions, is actively listening to you, and using your own experience, using your own background, using your own vision, helps you to design your own project, life, speech, anything. And it was really like that, so we were constantly communicating over Skype. And then with time, he explained me all the elements of a winning speech. And with time, step by step, I really learned a lot. And step by step, he shared with me his own experience of a Toastmaster, of a speaker and leader, but he was allowing me to learn on my own. So he wasn't pushing me, he wasn't like trying to overwhelm me with his own experience. Finally, we prepared my contest speech. And when I won the qualification round in my own club, I sent the video with my speech to my mentor. Of course, I needed feedback. And I got feedback. It was very structured and very advanced feedback, especially about the usage of the stage, etc., etc. But most importantly, I really received an absolutely unconditional support. And sometimes it's the only thing we really need in order to develop this kind of confidence in ourselves. Because by that, you create so-called inner mentors. And then you will not need some kind of a real mentor, because you will already have the self-confidence inside. And from my personal point of view, this kind of relationship, they opens new opportunities for you, and they will open new opportunities for you both inside Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters. So that year, I placed second, and I was incredibly happy. It was my first step to competing, and I reached my goal. But most importantly, guys, I really learned a lot. So being a mentee in Toastmasters is really a great advantage, because we all know that sometimes finding a right person is really a question of a long time. So when you are a newcomer in Toastmaster, when you are a new member in Toastmaster, you can ask for a mentor who will be guiding you on a long-term basis. And then you can also become a mentor, and you will be practicing your active listening skills, your communication style skills, analyzing and setting goal skills, which are also very important. So to sum up, the best mentors are those who have already been proteges, and they know this kind of process from both sides. And now I really love being a mentor. That's why now I'm a mentor of our Spanish-speaking club. And probably I'm not Odyssey, and of course I'm not living for Troy, but I am a Toastmaster, and I really know that in any moment of my Toastmaster life, I can ask for a mentor. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristina, for your interesting speech.